Hey guys, we had a huge live stream today on twitch.tv. It was a whole lot of fun and we made our way all the way up to the legend rank. That means we're a day 1 legend and that's pretty crazy if you ask me. But here we go. In today's video we're gonna cover a general tip as to how to approach Critter Crash in terms of what characters to avoid and what characters to go for. Because if you just hop into a battle and you wanna play, you will always be hit with a choice of 3 different trainers, and this will most likely be different every single time. So you're asking yourself like, hey, how do I make my decision? What trainers am I actually searching for? What should I take? What shouldn't I take? And there are 25 different trainers, let me call them like that, in this game, but only 10 of them are considered good. Let me tell you which 10 trainers are considered to be good. Those are Via, Kiparina, Jessica, Shamani, Tuesday, Regulus, Isolde, Winsong, Jenisei and Bkornblume. So those 10 trainers are what you should aim for, and everything else, if possible, should be avoided to have an easier and better time in Critter Crash. If you wanna know something in general about like Critter Crash, or if you have anything that you want me to talk about, it can be specifically catered towards the Critter Crash or any Reverse1999 content for that matter. I'm always delighted when people tell me what content they want to see in the comment section down below. So if you want to do that, go ahead, otherwise I will just keep winging it. I now just told you about the 10 best trainers in Critter Crash, and I was debating on making a top 10, making a top 5 or something, but everything beyond the top 3 would actually debatable in terms of their exact rating. Only the top 3 is really crystal clear here, and there is no debate to have about the top 3. So we're gonna cover the top 3 and show exactly how to play them and play a match with them. But we not gonna cover all 3 of those champions in this video. This would like take hours. So we're gonna just hop into a game with the character that takes rank number 3 and is the 3rd best character to play in Critter Crash. And that Oscar goes to Bkornblume. She's absolutely amazing for 2 very important reasons. First of all, her passive ability, of course. If you viewed the enemy board this round, you just remove a random enemy piece. Boom, just one enemy, flat out, just that. Then her Urimu says that if you viewed the enemy board this round, which you will always do, and when you enter the battle, set the attack and HP of the enemy piece in the same position as this one to 1. And grant attack +4 and HP +4 to all allied pieces immediately. And this is a very, very deadly combination, because you completely not only nullify 2 enemy pieces by killing 1 straight up and setting the most important and strongest piece of the enemy to just 1-1. Instead of like 56-56, they have 1-1. Straight up like that, boom, 2 targets eliminated. Plus, while doing this, you apply +4/+4 to your entire board. And this is one of the best things in Critter Crash. And I'm gonna show you exactly how you make best use of this right now. What this combination of abilities also means is freedom. You are not locked into a specific kind of piece. You can play Bkornblume with mine pieces or with factory pieces. You can play aquatic if you like. You are completely free to do whatever you want. The only thing pretty much that you have to be aware of is that you always scout the enemy field, because this straight up kills an enemy, and it becomes even more important once our Ulimo is unlocked. This will happen in round 5, and this will of course cost you coins. That is always the first thing that whenever a turn starts that you always do, is scout the enemy field. Never forget about this. And you will see that thanks to Bkornblume's ability, boom, this enemy dies, and then boom, we deal direct damage. And this scales throughout the game. You will of course defeat bigger and more important pieces of the enemy with thanks to this very ability. And as I said, you will eliminate 2 enemies once your Ulimo is online. And you have complete freedom as well. I can buy whatever the fuck I want. I can buy factory pieces, I can buy aquatic pieces in case I would get access to a dog later to devour these aquatic pieces and make room on myself. I can play this with Ghost Fort or whatever is available to me. I can just play Bkornblume with that. Now you see that I did exactly what I want you about, and that is forgetting to scout the enemy field. You always have to do this. It's the first thing in every turn that you do, is you scout the enemy. Here you can take a look, right? Of course, this will already help you, aside from Bkornblume assassinating an enemy. And this becomes more important when it comes to how to play it when the Ulimo unlocks. So let's get there first. And you can see that I get very bad pieces and I get very unlucky here. But it doesn't matter, because I can buy whatever I want. Everything that I will buy ever will become strong, because it will get +4/+4 every single turn from turn 5 and onwards. So I just have to establish my board a little bit, like I did here with anything. It doesn't matter. I can just play out the fights without even caring, because it doesn't matter if I lose the fights or not, and I lose a little bit of HP or not. It is completely irrelevant. Now we are at turn 5, so next turn our Ulimo will be ready, and then shit will hit the fan. You will see how incredible this is. So set up the board with whatever has high stats. Don't forget to still scout the field. You wouldn't really have to do this early. You could establish yourself on the board further, right? I could have bought this piece instead of scouting, because I will probably lose the fight anyways, as I got really unlucky when it came to what pieces I got access to. So having one more critter on the field once our Ulimo joins would have been also quite nice to do. And now here we go. We play this critter. Now scouting becomes more important, because here we wanna look at and figure out what the most important and strongest piece on the enemy field is and where it is. So you can see that probably the cannon, because of 12 attack, right? I would go always for the enemy with the highest amount of HP. This would be this piece here with 7/7. That has the highest amount of HP. So I'm gonna target this piece with my Ulimo. And I can see it is in the bottom row. It is on square 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is exactly where I'm gonna position my Ulimo. It is already there, so that the strongest piece on the enemy side of the field will now be set to stat line 1/1. Plus a random enemy will just straight up die, right? And this is how you play Bkornblume. Always scout the enemy. One enemy gets assassinated, position your Ulimo right to target the strongest critter on the enemy side of the field. And if you follow this, then you will have success. You can see we won this battle. I will show you this in a little bit more detail right now. So we're gonna scout. First thing we do, we see a 10-10 here, we see a 12-10. So we see a 911. So this 911 piece here, this snail, is what we're gonna target with our Ultimo. This is in the upper row on, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, on square 4. So this is where we're gonna position our Ultimo, on the top row, right here and there. Like, of course, you can go into a little bit more detail and you can set up your field so that your win rate here actually improves. You see they have 2 snails like that. You can also put your Ultimo into the front row if you would prefer that. Let's actually go ahead and do that. And then you can see, hey, on the bottom row, they start off with a piece that has 12 HP. So you wanna put something that deals 12 damage up on this field here on the bottom row, so you immediately tackle like the biggest issue that your opponent presents to you. Since again we got extremely unlucky, we are unable to do that, so we're gonna have to wing it a little bit. You could of course also focus this piece with 12 HP instead of a snail. Do we have something that deals 11 damage? No, we don't. So like, what's the point of it, right? But yeah, like you get the basics of how to play Bkornblume. You see, we win the battle. There are of course also pieces that you will always buy no matter what. Like these boxes for just 2 coins. That you just saw me opening an Ultimo from this box. You always gonna reset and you're gonna put just the biggest stat lines onto your field, because you can see my entire board is very strong, because every single turn I get buffed, all of my pieces get buffed by +4/+4. And then here we go again. Now this changes a little bit here, the strategy, because now you have to take shields into account. You wanna most often target the enemy with a shield on it, because this is, so to speak, a double unit, you know. So this is what you want to reduce. A 1410 piece with a shield would actually come in clutch for our opponent. So you want to set this opponent to 1-1. Again, how you do this: upper row, square 2, that's where we position our Ultimo, and that's it. Enemy will be gone just like that and be completely irrelevant. One enemy will be assassinated. You can see bottom row starts with 10 HP. So yeah, I mean, our field is strong, super strong in fact anyways. And then again, see, this is a must buy piece every single time, no matter what. You're always gonna buy that, and then you're gonna go for stats to profit from this +4/+4, like in the most efficient way possible. This is also a very good piece. This gives you also +2/+2 after you purchase a piece that has a purchase effect. Happens sometimes, you know, because we are versatile, and this gives us additional +2/+2. It's not really a must buy unit, but it is a very good unit. +2/+2 is always good. By the way, you always want to refrain from pieces that would only give you attack. You want to boost your HP. That is the most important part. Now let's take a look. You will see the enemy with the shield. See? Yeah, he got additional buffs. That's why he is at 9 attack. But he has just 1 HP and therefore is pretty irrelevant, as you just saw. And one target got assassinated. And this is how you buff your entire field before the fight even starts, plus you negate 2 very important units from the enemy. And like, it is really a you can't lose scenario if you just play it like that. And you have to also like take into account and realize that we got incredibly unlucky in the early game with our pieces. Our pieces were trash. We had this security robot that doesn't do anything for us. We had this dog here that is like what, 2-1 or something? Completely trash units, you know, all across the board. And now look what Bkornblume made out of these trash units. absolute monsters. You know what I mean? What is this? Can attack by range 2. Okay, this is poison. This is completely as we go for stat line. That means for the 5-5. No other good stat line available. We reset. Here, do we have a good stat line? Yeah, we have a piece with 7-7 and a shield. We're gonna scout, of course, the enemy area. We see, oh, there's a piece with 22-16 and a shield. We have a 19-19 shield as well, a 20-20 in the way back. But yeah, as I said, the most important targets are pretty much always the targets with shields. So front row, first tile, we put our Olimo there, we're gonna cook. Do we have another very good stat line or any upgrades to make? No, so we can attack, and you will see that we will come out victorious. Like at this point, right, once you awaken your Olimo and then 1 or 2 turns after, like, you can't lose anymore. It's impossible to lose. You can see we remain our HP and we deal a tremendous amount of damage to the enemy because we like clearly and easily win. Now our board is even established, and now all we're gonna aim for is just resetting, refreshing our monster dog to find updates for our already existing units. Like this tea kettler right here, that is also pretty much always 100% a must buy, because you can upgrade whatever your unit you want with this. You're gonna choose, of course, a big body with a shield, right? It's pretty much always the best target you have. And then you just go ahead and fight. You can see I did a huge mistake here. Why? Because I forgot to scout the enemy field. Now I don't know where to put my Olimo and no enemy will die. Now I'm actually in danger of losing the battle, and you see we lost a good chunk of HP just because we forgot simply to scout the enemy field. You can see there is a piece now in the very front with 43 HP, but we also have a shield with 36 HP. As I said, units with shields, you have to count them double. So 36 plus 36 is obviously more than 43. So front row, tile number 3 is where we put our Olimo. And yeah, from this point on, we are pretty much fine. Now another good tip is that you can see what the enemies start with. Let's check. We have a 32 here in the bottom. We have a 43. Unfortunately, our pieces with shields, they don't do enough damage, right? No, because they get buffed by +4/+4, and 8+4 is 32. So that's how you can like min-max your board and put this piece there, because he will kill the enemy without dying himself, right? I think you already get that kind of basic strategy. Next thing you want to do is focus on the top and get rid of this 43. Now you look, is there anything that would survive an attack from 35 HP attack, right? Does anyone here have more HP than 35 except for our Olimo piece? And the answer is yes. We have 2 of those actually. So we put both of those in the front of our lineup, and like proceeding like this, you can keep going and going and going, and the further you will go with this and you calculate stuff out, the higher your chance of actually winning the fight is. But what I did here is really more than enough, and you will see. Like I said, if we don't forget to scout the enemy field, we cannot lose. It's impossible. Here, one enemy will be assassinated. There you go. And the piece is 4-4. Now got buffed back to 7-7. Now it's 10-10, right? That happens. They will most of the times not really stay at this 1-1 start line, but it is still very beneficial. Having 10-10 as an opponent is obviously much better than having a 32-32 enemy, right? With a shield. And yeah, that is really all I can tell you. Now, of course, there are pieces that are better than others, usually for every single trainer, right? For every one of these players, as they are called in game. But for Bkornblume, as I said, just go for whatever. It's always the big buddies, even better if they have a shield. This one is a 5-5 with a shield. That is very, very beneficial to have. This is a 7-7 with a shield. Super good to have, right? But the most important part is take whatever you can. Focus on big buddies and establish a respectable field, like the best field you can build up until your Odimo arrives. And from there on out, everything you have will become strong. Anyways, don't forget to scout the field. 55-55. We have a big juicer with a shield on top in the middle. So this is where we're gonna put our Odimo. We already have that set up, and everything else we don't have to worry about. And show you that, okay, it is a 55-55. So do I have something that would kill it? Because we don't forget, we get +4/+4. And no, there is not. So wait a minute, how much? 55. Ah, we would be one short. So yeah, it doesn't matter. You will see that, like, whatever we do, we will be fine. Anyways, just position your Odimo correctly and you cannot lose the fight. See, we assassinated this big guy with a huge shield, just like that. He just died. That's how overpowered Bkornblume is. The strongest enemy that is a huge danger can just be gone like that. And you can see we maintain our HP and we deal damage to the enemy. See, those were 12 runs, and this was a run where we got really unlucky. Like, let me tell you what pieces in general are the best and even show you them right now really quickly. In general, in total, the aquatic pieces are the best pieces in the entire game. And there are pieces, of course, that stick out here. Let me show you them. This is Gorgon, the sea monster, of course. This will carry you through the end game. You will just put very strong with huge bodies critters behind this thing, like in 1, 2 or even 3 tiles if you can. He will, whenever he takes damage, he will devour them and obtain their stats lines. This thing will become an unkillable demon king. Now, a very good support piece for the middle slot is this one right here, because whenever an aquatic piece takes damage, he gets +1/+1. Every single turn, all of your pieces, pretty much always, all of your pieces gain +1/+1. Then there is one more or 2 more very huge pieces. This one here is one of the most important pieces, and a piece that you want to obtain very early and start feeding him aquatic pieces non-stop. You can see that at the end of the shopping phase, he eats the aquatic piece within 1 tile in front, and you even get a coin from it. He will devour, let's say, like most of the times, he devours something like this here. Now, well, this piece dies, right? And the dog will obtain its stats line. So it will, the wolf here will not be a 3-2 piece anymore, but it will be a 5-5 unit from that point on. And of course, the piece that gets devoured by the wolf dies. And you can see that this piece here has an effect that when he dies, and the effect is that he grants 2 HP to the piece within 1 tile behind. So the dog will gain this +2 HP. Other pieces have an effect that when they die, they spawn another unit, which then can be devoured next turn by the wolf again, like this one right here. If you devour this on level 1, your wolf gets +3/+3, and you summon 2 1/1s, which, yeah, you can, if you don't have anything better, can the next turn be devoured by the wolf. And one more piece that makes all of this like complete. This is this furry anglerfish, because whenever an aquatic ally or piece dies, this piece, this fish, gets +2/+2. So every single turn you will devour stuff and kill stuff with your wolf to absorb its stats. Whenever you do this, this fish gets +2/+2. So every single turn. Sometimes you will have 2 of those fishes, or you will devour 2 pieces with 2 wolves, right? And you can even stack some in case you wouldn't get like a wolf very early. You can use this mummus, for example, very early. You put it in front, and so that it always fights and pretty much always will die and take damage as much as possible, because whenever this takes damage it increases 1 HP, and once its HP reaches like 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10, you devour this HP with your wolf, right? And this will give the fish +2/+2, right? Remember this. And then when the end game hits and you have fed up fairy anglerfishes and huge wolves, right? Then the Gorgon sea monster comes in and devours these fishes and these wolves to become an unkillable beast that will destroy everything in its path. So this is the most effective strategy overall speaking. If you use characters like Bkornblume, where you have freedom and you are able to obtain yourselves aquatic pieces, you should obtain these. Gorgon the sea monster, this one, Frozen whatever it's called, Frozen something, this one here, for the middle piece, to grant you additional stats. Then you go for the fairy anglerfish and you have a wolf. And this wolf will just devour pieces non-stop that you put in front of him. The pieces that you should put in front of him are always aquatic pieces that have big bodies, like this Bkornblume, like this Snowhill Grobuncle, or this Snow Monster Jedi, right? Emphasis on HP. Always the monsters like this Kikitok that has 6 HP would be more beneficial to consume than this 9/5 Jedi. Because why? HP is always more important, way more important than attack. And that's how simple it goes. Establish the wolf, establish the fish, feed the wolf, that makes the wolf and the fish grow, and in the end you devour them with Gorgon the sea monster. If you have this frozen whatever piece in the middle, then you're even more cooking. And that's about it for the video, guys. As I said, like, let me know what you wanna hear me talking about for Critter Crash, for Reverse 1999 content in general, and I will be happy to do exactly that. If I don't get anyone that tells me what to do, then I will continue, and in the next video we go over what the rank 2 is for the second best trainer in Critter Crash. For now, that was Bkornblume, who comes in at rank number 3, and I hope this video was fun and informative. If you like Reverse 1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel, I would really appreciate that. But until next time, don't forget to join the Discord server, link to that in the description down below. Take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.